I'm sure you guys have all heard the phrase, don't rest on your laurels, but what is a laurel anyway? I actually had to look this up because I didn't know, but in ancient Greece, victorious athletes would be presented with a laurel wreath that was, and still is, a signal of great accomplishment. Resting on your laurels, right? I think you already get it, but it means to bask in your previous accomplishments to the detriment of your further work, right? It's hard to wake up at 5 a.m. and go jog when you're sleeping in the silk pajamas, right? That's a quote from Marvin Hagler, who's a boxer. And while I do not own any silk pajamas, although perhaps one day I would like to try on a pair, I would like to explore that concept in today's video. You know, I currently have a couple videos that are doing well. I just released in the last couple days. One is like why you must defeat the fear of cringe. The other is how to be insanely productive. And, you know, they're getting pretty good views for my little grassroots upstart channel, right? 2,700. The other one's got like 1,000, right? And it's exciting, right? It's gotten picked up by the almighty algorithm a bit. It's getting a lot of comments. Everyone's commenting emojis of ducks, right? Because I said that, you know, I want you guys to just comment an emoji of a duck if you can't think of anything else to say, right? So a lot of people are commenting these emojis of ducks, and that still applies to this video, by the way. More of that if you could. And yeah, the videos are doing well, right? So at this point, it's exciting, right? It's tempting for me to just want to spend a lot of time basking in the high of the fact that a couple of my videos have been picked up by the algorithm and they're being watched and they're being enjoyed and the click-through rate is high and people are saying nice things and there's ducks everywhere. It's very tempting to just camp out in the video analytics and click refresh over and over again, right? It's very exciting stuff to me, honestly, and I can spend a lot of time doing this, potentially a big part of my day, just refreshing and watching analytics and just kind of enjoying the ride, right? But I think that would be resting on my laurels, so to speak, and that is something I've discovered is an amateur move, because here's the thing. The algorithm is an unpredictable mistress, she is, right? And things can look really amazing for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's like the little spigot gets turned off, and it's like, whoa, flatline, right? I can sit around all day watching these little blue bars rise and get really into it, right? Oh my God, I've got 100 views in a minute. I'm getting a lot of new subscribers. We're going to get to 1,000 soon, right? And I bet if you've ever created things on YouTube, you've been there, right? The analytics can be very thrilling and very addicting, but once again, this is amateur hour if you get too sucked into this stuff. Because at a certain point, if you allow yourself to get sucked into the past, it only becomes a detriment to the future. Looking at old videos you created or the last workout you had or the last girl that you got with, that previous version of yourself, even though maybe that girl was really hot or you accomplished something that you're really proud of, there becomes a point very quickly where you rest on that happy feeling and then you kind of impede your own progress into the future. So that's why I've chosen this time to make this video, because I have a couple videos that are doing okay, right? And I thought, you know, no better time to work on the next one. And the fact of the matter is, I still got things to do, right? I still got to work out. I got to do these push-ups. I got to do these shoulder presses with the kettlebell. I got to cook this fish and rice and go for this walk and clean my place and scrub the toilet and all these things. And until I reach a level of success where I can hire someone else to do this stuff for me, there's no utility in sitting around basking in previous accomplishments. There's these two realities out there, right? One where I've just sat around looking at my analytics and done nothing, and the other where the video still exists, still being watched, but in the meantime, I'm getting more work done. I'm making this one now. I'm not resting on my laurels. I still need to go clean this toilet. It's annoying. I need a maid. So if I'm not at the level of success to hire a maid to clean this toilet for me, there can be no resting for me. This is the mindset I want you guys to adopt. Emotions are up and down, all over the place, right? Left and right. I'm happy, right? I'm happy that the video's doing good. I'm happy we got subscribers. I'm happy we're closing in on 1,000, right? What happens at 1,000, I'm not really sure, but it's exciting. I don't know if it's going to be that much different than 800, but I'm using this boost of happiness and excitement in the most tactical way possible. I'm not just dancing around like a silly boy. I've decided there is a productive way to use this happiness and this energy. You channel it into the next thing that's going to give you more happiness and energy. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why I speak about building momentum and why it's so important to build momentum, because at some point you will actually start to feel good and not lethargic and sad all the time. And when you do, after you put in that initial work, that boost, it makes it easier to begin working on your next steps. This is how it was supposed to be. That dopamine, those good feelings, they were there for a reason, and that was to help you excel and perform. They're not just there for you to squeeze out of your brain with naughty videos and drugs and whatever else. They're there to reward you when you do something well, to say, this is good. You should do more of this. Unfortunately, everyone is now getting it through degenerate activities, but it does come with positive activities as well. You just need to get things set up. And you're much more happy that way, right? The happiness you get from doing something that is actually productive and helping other people and helping yourself and helping your future self is much more powerful than the happiness you get from just going on the hub and watching some girl bounce around, right? It's fun, right? But you know subconsciously that it's not leading you anywhere good. You must reprogram your dopamine system, or whatever you want to call it, to begin rewarding yourself for things that actually matter. Once again, hardest in the beginning, but once you get that thing going, you're in a much better place. There's a technique I'd like to share, actually, which is that sometimes you almost need to physically pick up your consciousness, so to speak, pick up your focus and take it from one thing to another. And once you actually set your focus on this new task, you realize that you're like, okay, I'm working on this now. Like if you want to go from browsing the hub, for example, to reading a book, the hardest part of that whole scenario is going to be the part where you shut off the website and you physically get up and you get the book or the Kindle or whatever, and then you walk over to the other part of the house, away from the sticky computer, and you start reading. And once you've set your focus down now, almost like an object, onto this new thing, you're like, okay, I'm into this now. And then you actually start to get compelled by the story of the book you're reading or whatever, right? So I'm ranting a little bit. I've gone off topic a bit. But the point is, I'm creating more content for you guys. I'm going to check out the previous videos and see how they do ultimately and enjoy the comments. And I'm happy that people are watching. But eventually, those videos will be in the past. And they already pretty much are, right? Time moves fast. And I know that you're going to want more. It's like that with anything. So, you can be at the top of your game, right? UFC double champion. Everyone's talking about you. You've captured the attention of the world. But Father Time waits for no one. If you don't stay sharp, you fall off. It's inevitable. People will only remember the past so much. If you haven't had a win in years and you're just talking about the old days, regardless of how incredible and spectacular they were, people will inevitably say, okay, yeah, like that was really, really cool, but how about now? This is why I make a video talking about how we must fall in love with our actual work again, right? Downtime is usually just wasted time. It's like, what can be more fun than working towards a better life in the present moment that we're all so into, right? What is the fun of just self-congratulating yourself when it's ultimately not doing anything to help you? The work itself must be something that is compelling to you, and not even necessarily because it's fun, right? But because you know that you're doing the real activity that actually moves the needle in your life. Sitting around playing Starfield is not going to move the needle. I mean, do what you want. It might be fun, right? But it might also just be a cope. And instead of building the life that you really want, you're pretending you're like a spaceman or something, right? You got to stay focused. You don't want to be like Batman in The Dark Knight Rises, where he got his butt kicked by Bane, and Bane literally tells him, he's like, victory has defeated you. And then to drive the point home, he picks him up and he snaps him like a twig. Stay focused, man. You got to stay sharp. You got to be thinking, okay, next thing. That's just how it is, man. Think of the wolves out there. They're always on the hunt, right? When they get a kill, they get that brief moment or day, or they get to have that little respite where they eat for a minute and they howl at the moon, whatever wolves do. But before they know it, they are hungry again. That last kill doesn't matter anymore. On to the next. If you're in a fight, and it's a hard fight, and you're both ducking and weaving, you're tired, and all of a sudden, you land a good shot, a hard shot. You got him wobbled, right? It's good. That was a good thing that happened. But at this point, and you even see it a lot in a lot of real fights, At this point, some people, they get all excited, like, oh my God, I heard him. I did it. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And then just like how adrenaline from something scary can make you freeze up and not act right, the adrenaline from something too exciting and positive can almost have the same effect, where you actually see that in a lot of fights, that where somebody thinks they have their opponent hurt and they come in for the finish and, you know, they've lost their focus and they put their hands down, they start swinging all wild, and before they know it, the opponent wasn't as hurt as they thought, and then they're out cold, right? They actually hurt themselves because they got too wrapped up in the moment and forgot what they were doing. There's a lot of parallels between combat and life, man. There's a lot, and that's why I really recommend people get into like MMA, or if not that, like just something fast-paced and competitive. Like get really into ping pong or something, right? Because there's all these like little things that are happening in these little fractions of a second that like reveal so much to you about yourself and just kind of the nature of the world, honestly. But anyways, until you're really at the point where you really have done all the things that you need to do, if that's even possible, there really is not a time for sitting back and resting on your laurels, unless you truly believe that you're in a place where you've accomplished all the things that you're interested in doing, right? There's always something you can do. There's always a different way to come at things. There's always a different approach or angle. You just have to be willing to find it. So don't rest on your laurels. Use your laurels, right? Remind yourself with those laurels who you are and what it's all about, and just use them to propel yourself even faster, even higher, right? That's the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Anything you want to say, duck emoji if you can't think of anything. I really do not care. It all makes the video more powerful, and hopefully with your help, we can get these positive messages out there to the world and make it a better place. And also, please follow me on X, right? You know, YouTube could decide one of these days, you know, I'm too controversial. We're dropping too many truth bombs over here. And it would be nice for you guys that are like really enjoying this content to be following me over on X. So just in case, whatever, we can stay in touch. And even if you'd like to DM me over there to ask a question or something, if it's a good question, I'm probably even willing to make a video where I answer it. So that's something to think about. But that's it for the video today, guys. I appreciate you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.